Hello everyone, now we are going to discuss partially balancing of the reciprocating mass. In the previous topic, the primary balancing of the reciprocating mass, we have seen that the scientist has tried in the balancing of the reciprocating mass to run the engine for longer periods. Now we will not balance the reciprocating mass completely, we will balance it partially. Okay, so that's why the next topic is partially balancing of the reciprocating masses. Okay, so let us consider the first we need to understand the diagram again. So then we will do the calculations for partial balancing. Okay, and then we will see the result of the partial balancing. So there is an angle theta. We have know that this is the measured angle theta rotations of the crane from the inner dead center or the top dead center. You can see this is a line of stock also. Okay, and we have assumed that on the opposite side of the crane there is a mass B, mass capital B, which is has to be attached, and small b is the radius of rotations of this mass, and there is a mass which is going to be balanced of mass M, which is having the radius of rotations of R. Okay, so that's why, and we have seen that there is a perpendicular force which remain in the system. So that's why we have not considered the balancing of the reciprocating mass completely. Okay, so that's why the next topic is, that means we are going to discuss about the partial balancing. Okay, so what was the formula for balancing force? So we have seen that F is equal to BB omega square sine theta. Okay, that is the unbalanced force remain. That means BB omega square sine theta. Sine theta. That was the vertical force. That means the vertical component. Okay, but the thing is that when we have considered the full balancing, we have got the relations that BB is equal to MR. Okay, we have you have seen in the last topic that we got the relations BP is equal to MR. But now we are not doing the complete balancing, we are doing partial balancing. So that means BB would be equal to CMR, where C is the fraction of the reciprocating masses to be balanced. Okay, so let C is the fraction of reciprocating mass, because we are doing partial balancing, so we have to assume that C is a fraction of reciprocating mass. C is the fraction of reciprocating mass which is to be balanced. Reciprocating mass to be balanced. Okay, if C is the fraction of reciprocating mass to be balanced, so what would be the relations? What would be the relations then? The relations would be BB is equal to CMR. Are you getting my point? C is a fraction of reciprocating mass to be balanced. So CMR, that is equal to BB. Okay, and we all know that C is the fraction. That means its value will be less than 1 and greater than 0. That means it vary between 0 to 1. Okay, so if it is equal to CMR, that is equal to less than, that means it is less than MR. Okay, so that is the relations for partial balancing we will consider. Okay, so when we have done the partial balancing, so what would be the result after partial balancing? After partial balancing, what would be the relations you'll get? Partial balancing. Now see here, this would be the perpendicular component and this would be the horizontal component. Okay, and the horizontal component was BB omega square cos theta, and the vertical component was BB omega square sin theta. That is the relations that we get in the last topic, sin theta. Okay, are you getting my point? And we know that there is a primary force that is equal to MR omega square cos theta. Okay, cos theta. We are doing primary balancing. That means we have to consider the primary unbalanced force mr omega square cos theta. Okay, so you can see here, if I'm talking about the unbalanced force along the line of stroke, this is our line of stroke. Okay, so along the line of stroke, what would be the unbalanced force? Along the line of stroke, along the line of stroke, the unbalanced force would be F unbalanced along line of stroke would be equal to mr omega square. Okay, because this is a unbalanced force along the line of stroke, mr omega square cos theta minus bb omega square cos of theta. That is the unbalanced force along the line of stroke. Okay, and we have seen in the partial balancing, bb is equal to cmr. Okay, so we just have to put it here. So the unbalanced force F unbalanced along line of stroke would be equal to what? That is mr omega square cos of theta minus cmr omega square cos of theta. So you can see that you just have to take the common and you will get 1 minus c mr omega square cos of theta. Okay, so that would be the unbalanced force along the line of stroke. Okay, now what would be the unbalanced force perpendicular to the line of stroke? So next is F unbalanced perpendicular to the line of stroke. Okay, perpendicular to the line of stroke, there is only one force which is acting, that is bb omega square sine theta. So that is bb omega square sine theta. Now in this case, we know that bb is not equal to mr. bb is equal to cmr, and where c is the fraction of reciprocating mass to be balanced. cmr omega square sine theta. Now I hope you will able to understand what I am going to write here. That is the unbalanced force. So we are discussing the partial balancing of the reciprocating masses. So you just have to remember one theoretical point is that we only do partial balancing for reciprocating mass. We don't do full balancing of reciprocating masses. We don't do full balancing. We just do partial balancing of reciprocating masses. That means we do complete balancing of rotating masses, but we do partial balancing of reciprocating masses. This is statement you must remember. Okay, partial balancing of reciprocating mass, complete balancing of rotating masses. Okay, so that is the unbalanced force along the line of stroke and unbalanced force along the unbalanced force perpendicular to the line of stroke. So now I hope you will not get any problems in this case. You just have to understand what is the unbalanced force perpendicular to the line of stroke and what is the unbalanced force along the line of stroke. Just remember formula. Okay, and we will do the numerical questions, so it would be easy to understand what types of questions they're going to ask in the examinations. Generally in the engineering service examinations, they will ask you the conventional type questions on this topic. Okay, so I hope you will understand the derivations and this topic completely.